Welcome back, RSL fans, to another RSLFanTV video. We're talking about tonight about the RSL versus LA Galaxy game on Saturday, February 3rd, over in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. So we ended up winning the game 3-1. It was a good. It was. I guess you really can't call it good. It was preseason. It was choppy. People weren't, obviously giving it their all, let alone, I'm saying, it being treating it as a win or die situation. But it was nice to see RSL playing, to see us out there on the field working together as an 11-man unit. And there were some things to take away from it. So we ended up winning 3-1. My only complaint is that it was in the second half that we did anything, and I'll kind of explain that why a little bit later. So Mike Petke had the lineup. He basically did one major substitution at the end of the first half. So for the first 45 minutes, he played a specific 11-man team, and then in the second half, he switched the whole team up and played a whole nother team for the full 45 minutes. I think that's fantastic. Siggy Schmidt, he ended up switching out 3 different 11-man teams with other little substitutions throughout. I think I understand why he did it. With a new coach, trying to get to know everybody on your team, seeing what they got, what they're doing, how they play, what their thought process is about the game. So I understand he's trying to get to know everybody, and the best way to do that is to make sure everybody plays. But it was really nice for Petke to let them have a whole half where there wasn't any interruptions. You could just play the full half. You could play, work together, iron things out, communicate, and so I think that was smart on Petke's part. The first lineup that they had was Nick Romano as goalkeeper. We had Henley as right back. We had Glad and Acosta as center backs. And I thought that was interesting. Mike Petke told the announcers that he wanted, he knows what Acosta can do at left back. He's seen him play last season. He was impressed. Has certain expectations for him at left back, but he really wanted to see what he could do at center back. I think that's really cool. I think it's interesting, and it just widens up again our lineup and our player abilities. And then we had DeMar Phillips at left back. We had Kyle Beckerman and Luke Mulholland as our midfielders. And then from right to left, we had Brooks Lennon, Jose Hernandez, and Joao Plata. And then up top, we had Luis Silva to start. So those are the guys who played the first 45 minutes. Of those guys, I was very impressed with Hernandez. Hernandez was all over the place on the field. He did a really good job. I wasn't expecting much, to be honest, but he got into some LA Galaxy people defenders' heads. He was all over the field. He was in the right place at the right time a lot of the time. He even drew a yellow card. At one point, one of the LA Galaxy players was so frustrated, realizing that Hernandez had gotten in front of him and to the ball and was going to take off, that he grabbed him by the collar, flinged him around, and Hernandez ended up landing on the ground, and that the LA Galaxy player ended up getting a yellow card. And that's the kind of, he was just frustratingly everywhere when it came to the LA Galaxy. Glad put in a solid shift as always. Acosta did a good job, I thought. I felt like he did well defending. He had a couple of clearances, and it was a solid defending job by him. Good passing. He tried to do a couple of different long ball services, which were good thoughts. One of them, he tried to curve the ball up and around up to Silva, and it was if it had gone off, if he had gotten the curve that he needed, I mean, that would have been a deadly ball. So I like the way he thinks. I think he with enough practice and time, he could have some really good long ball service as a center back. So it's just it's really nice to see that he can play either position and that he's got skills to make him dangerous in both positions. So Acosta did good. Another person I was very impressed with was Plata. It seemed like the last couple of seasons, it didn't take much to bully Plata off the ball. But in this preseason, I mean, he was a dog with a bone. He wouldn't let go. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was stronger, more unwilling to get off the ball even though he had bigger, physically stronger opponents, defenders on him, which is practically everybody. So it was really nice to see. With Savarino, you know what I'm saying, he just kept at it, no matter what. And it seemed like Plata was more easily bullied off the ball, and he did a much better job in this game. So if he continues in that vein of attack and aggression throughout the season, I'd be quite impressed. So those are the only ones that stood out to me. If there was anybody else that you thought had a good first 45 minutes, let me know in the comments down below. We're going to move on to the second half, where we switched up the lineup. We had Connor Sparrow as goalkeeper. We had Herrera as the right back. We had Barry and Horst as center backs. Then we had Real Monarchs player Dioso as our left back. We had Sonny and Beasler as our center mids. And then from right to left, we had Corey Baird, who we just picked up. We had Velasquez from the Real Monarchs as in the middle. And then on the left, we had Bofo with Ortuño up top. Ortuño did get subbed off in the 70th minute. Ortuño did get subbed off in the 70th minute. I'm not sure why. Would have liked to have seen him play the full 45 minutes. But it is what it is. With regards to that 45 minutes, there were a lot of players that stuck out. Corey Baird, nothing in particular other than he had a couple of instances where his burst of speed was frightening. I mean, he literally just got the ball and then left his defender in the wake, and his defender had time and space on him, and he just blew by him. So that was really interesting and kind of exciting to see. Whether he plays in a more of a central role as a striker or on either of the wings. With Savarino, Lennon, Brooks Lennon, I don't know how much he'd play on the wings, but we'll have to see. I don't know how that'll work. But just like Lennon, he's got pace and speed and acceleration. So that was nice. Barry as a center back. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. He was a rock. He was always in the right place. He always had good passes to me, it seemed like. Good stopping. Good instances of stopping attacks. I think he is going to be such a solid center back. I think Glad and Marcelo Silva are really going to have a struggle to make sure that they're the starting both or either of them is starting over Barry. I think he's going to bring a lot of stability to the center back position, which is cool because, even with Acosta being played at center back, it's almost as if it's like there's no reason. You got Glad, you got Silva, you got Barry, and then we even have Horst and Pay. I still have no idea how to say his name. So it's almost like we don't need Acosta playing at center back unless we're moving or some of those guys are able to play left back because it's just Phillips over there. So yeah, Barry was super stellar, phenomenal. Herrera, holy cow. With him just coming up, as a youth player, not a lot of experience, first year as a pro, I am so excited as a right back. That guy, granted, I don't remember seeing a ton of defensive feats by him, but him as an attacking fullback is terrifying. His first touch is incredible, almost to the point where it's, you don't play him as a fullback, play him as a right wing. Every touch, it seemed like that he took from switching up when they'd switch up the field. They were magnificent. He'd get it with plenty of time. He'd bring it down beautifully, comfortably, fling it forward, start sprinting. His attacking instincts were fantastic. Like I said, he was so attacking. It was super exciting with him and like Lennon. I mean, they're basically interchangeable. I can totally see them just it's like almost like, who cares? Herrera's attacking. All right, Lennon's gonna drop back and play that right back. And now it's Brooke Lennon's turn. Oh, he's gonna go up, and Herrera's gonna fall back and be more of that fullback, defensive. Like I said, Herrera was so fantastic on the attack, being able to take those amazing first touches, long balls, and bringing them down. My only concern is service. It didn't look like he had that. He wasn't that skilled at putting it into the box and getting crosses in that were dangerous. But I don't know. It could have just been the game. So I am so excited for Herrera. It's with Beltran out, between Henley, who is injury prone. I have no concern, because if he gets slightly injured, needs a couple of weeks, put in Herrera. I have no qualms whatsoever about playing that guy. Sonny on the field, man, that guy was a monster. Almost like he had a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. He was out there chasing balls, playing hard, playing much smarter than I've seen him play. What I'm saying? Almost like he was trying to show that he is the next Beckerman. That's what it felt like to me. Trying to be one of the leaders out there on the field. His passes, for the most part, were good. His defending was good. He only had a couple of, sunny-ish challenges, clipping people from behind and things like that. But yeah, put in a really good shift. You could tell it was almost like he was fighting for his job. It was kind of cool. So that's all I really had. Like, those are the main players that stood out to me: Barry, Herrera, Plata, Sonny, Hernandez, and obviously Costa with being at the center back. Some other guys, they put in good shifts, like always, like Beckerman. Beckerman's Beckerman. You know what I'm saying? Very rarely does he ever put in a poor shift, and he's usually always puts in a good, solid performance. So things like that, people that I didn't feel inclined to talk about. But yeah, it's super exciting. We ended up winning. They scored first after they subbed on their after 30 minutes. They subbed on and scored. Nick got a hand to their header, but it just kind of slipped in. But then we came back. We got like I said, the only problem I have is that all the goals were done by the second string team, and it was against like lesser opponents. So all of the second string guys for LA Galaxy, and then even the youth and academy players that Siggy brought. That's where we scored all our goals. We got a penalty on the edge of the box, and ref ended up going to VAR and calling that as a penalty inside the box. And Bofo put that away. So we had a couple of other good we had a couple of good run of play goals. One was a good shot. The keeper saved, and Beasler was there to kind of clink it back in. It's one of those FIFA 18 cheese goals where the keeper pushes it off to the side, and the opponent's other player, like one of their other players, is just sitting there to tap it back in. So that's what we got. Beasler tapped in to bring us in the lead, and then we had a nice play between three guys with Velasquez putting it away for the third goal. So like I said, it was good, but the majority of the goals, all of the goals, were against second string and their academy and youth players. So excited about the season, excited to see how things link up. We haven't even seen Rusnak and Savarino on the field, so it'll be really cool and interesting to see how our attack is playing, and how soon we can all get linked up between defense and offense, and that's such. So if you haven't watched it, I'd recommend doing so. That's my take on the game. If you guys have any other thoughts or anybody else that you thought stood out or put in a good shift, or you disagree with the ones I picked out, let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching another RSL video by RSLFanTV. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as that really does help us out. It lets us know that you guys are enjoying the video content. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.